Hello, welcome to another tutorial with John from johnesberg.com, and I'm going to be happy to show you here in this case how to do an import and then jump into how to make up touch-ups on a photograph for engineering purposes. So let's select import and go in and pick the images we want to work with. Um, First of all, I'm going to deselect all dates. I only want the last 5 that I have recently worked with. As you can see here, the only ones that haven't been dimmed out in the previews. Okay, looks good. Now my options of file handling. I'm just going to be copying from the camera into Lightroom. Going to be putting it into a folder I've already selected. I'm not going to be copying in duplicates. Let's see. I'm not going to run any presets on the development settings. I'm going to change the metadata to myself, and I'd like to add cracks onto the keyword selection. I'm going to keep the previews 1-to-1, and let's do an input. Okay, definitely not going to be bringing any movies. Okay, as you can tell, I shot these with a point and shoot. Oh, I have a duplicate from an experiment I was running earlier. Okay, I'm not going to have that. That's fine. And as you can see in the upper left, it's brought the images in. It's rendering the 1-to-1 previews for us. I like to use 1-to-1 just to get everything set up because I'm going to immediately work with everything. And okay, there's my first image showing up in the navigator, and everything's now done and ready to work with. I'd like to get a better look at these images, so I'm going to increase my thumbnail size. Scroll into proper position. Alright, looks good. Okay, now I'm going to adjust my ratings. I can pick 0 for nothing, and from 1 to 5 for the number of stars for each image. And what I'm doing is I'm selecting the quality of the cracks that showed up in this plastic. A lot of times, small breaks in a piece of plastic don't show up well unless you make proper adjustments with everything. This is really important for engineering applications. Oh yeah, I just hit Control Alt 2. That brings me into the develop module. I think I need to properly set up this image so that the plastic piece is actually the focus of the image. So R to go into crop, and now I'm going to properly align the image. Alright, kind of shift the image around by dragging on the screen. Good, good. Alright, I want to, on the left there, one of the fingers has a little bit of an issue, and I don't want that to be the focus of somebody looking at this image, so I'll make sure that the part is there. Yes, it's properly lined up so that it's really the only focus of this image. Now I'm going to be drawing out the details in that piece of plastic, and I'm not going to really care much about the fingers, so let's go into tinting. I'm paying attention to my polycarbonate there. Or sorry, temperature. Now tint. Move down a little bit. Now instead of using the exposure slider, I'm going to go up to the histogram. Doesn't that work nicely? Just drag it to where you need it. Go back and forth, left and right. Excellent. Bring out the blacks. See if I can make those cracks pop out a little bit more. You don't want people to be neglecting your production issues if you can help it. Now, if you look, I turned clipping back on, and yeah, the blue at the bottom of the screen showing I have clipping down there. It lets you know really where your limits are. I'm pushing up my contrast. See if I can help develop those cracks a bit more. Turn off my clipping. It's a bit of a distraction. Okay, scroll down some. Oh, scroll down a little bit here. Good. Okay, into my presence sliders. Just some clarity. Mid-tone contrast. That's what I'm aiming for here. Play with the vibrance a little bit. See if I can get any effect I like out of it. Okay. Alright. So now into the adjustment brush. Now, I just want to remind you, if your adjustment brush is at the wrong size for what you're trying to do, use the left or the right brackets to adjust the size of the brush, and if you're in the wrong position, go over to the navigator window and drag the image to where you need to be working. Okay, so now I'm adjusting the brush, and it's time to drag along the crack. I just want to make a mask along the defect. And you thought Lightroom was only for adjusting portraits and landscapes. Haha, surprise. Lightroom definitely has its purposes in other places. Okay, so there's the starting point to my mask. Let's take a look at it. Let's see, it shows up a nice pink color. How manly. Now I'm going to play with the exposure a bit. You know, I can't really take the exposure too far. Things really will look ridiculous. So it's looking like I'm going to be hovering around minus 0.40 the whole time. I'll play with it a little bit more. Let's go to the other side. We'll continue working on this crack right here on the other side. I dragged a little bit off. Nobody's perfect. Go to erase. Change my brush size. Beef it up so I can get a good sweep and wipe everything out. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Go back to the A brush. Let's try drawing this again. Now, as I'm dragging, you can start to see that the exposure adjustment is already coming into play. It kind of helps you to see where you're going, which is a nice little trick about the adjustment brush. Make your adjustment in some cases before you go and use it, and it makes it easy to see your tracks. Okay, that looks good. Zoom back out by hitting Z for the quick shortcut. Play with it a little bit. Well, let's check that mask. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's play with the exposure a bit. You can see taking it too far what the results are, which is just ridiculous. Nobody's going to believe that. The idea here is to make a point, not to make it ridiculous. And this does, I'm going to tell you right now, this definitely can make a positive effect in responses from your suppliers, contract manufacturers, whatnot. Alright, Shift Tab to close out all the panels, and I'm hitting backslash to cycle the before and after images. We've definitely made an effect. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial here. It works.